Welcome at the Influential Executive Podcast. Today's interview has been one of the most fun conversations we've had on our podcast so far. Victor Tarfa is one of the most spontaneous, fun and inspirational people we know, and that shows during our conversation. Victor Tarfa is an award-winning motivational speaker and author of the book The Seasons of Life. Victor is also the founder of the Millionaires by 40 network, which, as we'll hear during the interview, will soon have a new name. Victor is on a very special mission to achieve positive change in the lives of Nigerians and Africans. He does this through coaching and public speaking because Victor found that being rich or poor, both are just a mindset. This podcast was again sponsored by our coaching organization Earn More, Work Less. We specialize in helping our clients achieve their goals without stress, to get much more done with much less time. Our unique How to Work Stress-Free methodology has helped thousands of people already, and soon we'll organize our first free online masterclass in which we give away the very best parts of our methodology. The 3 golden rules for a happier and more productive life. Now first, enjoy our conversation with Victor Tarfa. We have today with us Victor Tarfa. Victor, welcome to the Influential Executive Podcast.
Thank you very much.
Victor, we are excited to be hearing more from you. We met in London about half a year ago, and what I remember about Victor is, first of all, that there's always a big smile on your face.
That's right.
And secondly, that you say a lot of sensible things.
I wish my wife could hear this.
So, and which is great. You are an award-winning motivational speaker, and it's an art. It's an art to get there up on stage, to have this room full of people staring right into your eyes, thinking to themselves, now let's see what this guy has to say. And I know that many people in our audience are also public speakers, so what are some of your tips and tricks that help you to capture the audience and leave them even feel inspired the way you do?
Well, I think the key thing for me is I speak to the person, you see, and I don't speak to a group of people. I sort of work towards speaking to one person. And as you said, speaking to me is an art. And I believe like some people learn how to dance, some people know how to dance. You know, when you see someone who learned how to dance, it's different from a guy who just knows how to dance.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty grateful because I think mine sort of comes as a talent in which I used to be very shy before. And for me to have hidden this for so long, but when it got to a point where I started bringing it out and I realized that it's amazing how I just go with the flow. In fact, I just actually finished a mentoring session before I came on here now. And I prepared what I was going to talk about. And then when we got talking, for the first 30 minutes, I went to something else entirely. And my wife was very excited because she was like, I can't believe this. That was exactly what I wanted to hear. So I just have a way in which just go in with what people need to hear. And because I think my focus is the people I'm talking to. And I think the key tip is when some speakers go out there, they're talking about what they think the people want to hear. I focus on telling the people, I have to go about sharing with the people, not what I think they want to hear, but what I believe they really want to hear. So it's all about them, not about me.
Awesome. And what are the clues that you look for while speaking? Do you watch people's responses to what you're saying? Do you watch where they look? Do you focus your attention on just a few people or on everyone? Can you zoom in a little bit on that?
Yes, my focus is mostly the whole room because I make sure that I'm catching everyone's attention. So from the front of the room to the back of the room, you know, because we can get carried away speaking sometimes and you just face one side and stick to that one side the whole time. But I'm constantly scanning the whole room. And what I'm doing most of the time is I'm looking at the way people are reacting. Because when I start a speech, I constantly change the speech as she goes on. Mm-hmm. Because it's amazing because when I started speaking, I used to write my speeches, but now I don't write them anymore You see, if you go through my computer, you hardly find a recently written speech. I don't have any anymore now, which is, I think, is pretty bad. But even though now I can always go back and watch them or listen to them anyway, because there's Facebook Live, they get recorded and things like that. But the most important thing to me now, most of the time, is I don't write them anymore now, because I found that it's a waste of time me writing speeches now, because I just end up not even following them, which is actually no point. In fact, I was telling my client that I was preaching in my church a few weeks ago on Father's Day, actually. And I gave the guy who was controlling the screens, like a few Bible verses and a few things to show on the screen. And I just used one Bible verse, and I finished. It was a 15-minute message, and I just spoke 15 minutes. I'm sure he was wondering, what's this guy doing? Because I didn't use anything I gave him. And it's amazing, because after, everyone came to me, wow, what you said really touched me. I was really moved. And I just felt, you know what, I just go with the moment. And I think that's just the way to do it. Go out there, just go with the moment, look at the people's faces. You can basically read their mind as it's going on. And I can guarantee you can deliver a powerful message doing that.
I love it. And so what's the secret sauce? Because you said I was shy, and right now as I hear you speaking, there is a lot of confidence. Especially you must have a confidence if you say, I just go with the flow and I trust that the flow will guide me where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So what was the journey? Because I can imagine that you didn't wake up one day saying, hey, I have the confidence and I'm going to speak.
No, I think I was very shy before. I didn't make many friends because I was very shy. Lost a lot of opportunities because I was very shy and very reserved. Secondly, I used to call myself Mr. Average. You see, because I'm the kind of guy in which if I do something and I get halfway, I just stop there. I say, you know what, I've had enough anyway. Don't worry about it. Because every speaker's got their story, and most people have stories where they started from. Oh, I didn't have a house. I was sleeping on the floor. I had no money, and all these kind of things. You see, but I'm very different, because mine was, I grew up in a comfortable house. My parents they're not rich, but they were comfortable. You know, we always had food to eat. We always had a comfortable house to sleep in. You know, so I didn't really see a reason why I had to push myself anymore. So that was what I had to break through. Mediocrity, average. I think it's harder to break through that than to break through poverty. You see, because if you're born in riches, you just stay. You focus on staying rich, so you just stay there. You know, if you're born in poverty, you say, you know what, I'm tired of this, I want to move on. But when you're comfortable, what more do you need? You don't need anything else. You see, but one day I read a book, and it actually said, shy people miss out on so much in life. And when I saw that statement, I thought, I can't remember where I saw it, whose book it was, but I was amazed that just one sentence. I just thought, Victor, you've been missing out so much because you just said you're Mr. Shy. And that's when I had to get myself, start breaking out of it slowly. And to be honest with you, coaching, mentoring, that's what helped me massively, because the moment I built confidence, that was where the whole thing started growing from there.
Which have been some of those coaches and mentors that had the most profound impact on you?
Well, to be honest with you, the first coach I actually invested in was actually a JT Fox program. You see, because I was just flipping through the papers one day in London, and I came across the event, and I felt, okay, I'll go to this event, the 2-day event. I'll go the first day, I'll see what happens, you know, thinking the average way, I'll just see what happens. And then from there, you know, maybe I might even bother going for the second day. So I went for the first day, and I was like, wow, I like what I'm seeing here. I like, you know, the community, you know, what they were talking about. And I was like, wow, I like this. And then next thing I had some appointments the next day. I was on the phone trying to cancel, trying to rearrange things, trying to replan, you know. So I went back in for the second day. And that's when they sort of offered their coaching lessons and whatever it is. I said, fine, I'll go and do that. So I went and I spoke to one of the coaches. I said, fine, I paid the money, and we got going. And the shocking thing was, it was supposed to be like over 12 months and everything else. With my average mind, I still didn't even do anything. You see, I still didn't know. I'll have a coaching lesson, I'll go, I'll come back. Then tomorrow I was blaming the coaches. I was, you know, until one day, and I had to speak to the head of coaching because I was blaming like nonstop. You know, I just didn't want to take responsibility. You know, and then she now said to you, she said, Victor, do you realize that nothing's going to happen by magic. You have to do the work yourself. You have to make it happen yourself. We're here to guide you. You just have to, you know, and it was like an eye opener for me, as in, oh, actually, I didn't know that. I thought it was going to be a magic wand and it's going to happen overnight, you know. And to be honest with you, I always look back and say to myself, it's that move and that investment I made that time, you see. Because people always ask me the question, so when do you get out of it now, whatever it is. I always said to them, I said, you know what, to me, it was a key starting point. Is what broke the ice. That's what set me going. And every single day, I would say to myself, I invested thousands of pounds that time. And I would say to myself, I need to keep going because it was a push every day. You know, and when I think of my wife saying to me, remember you paid all that money? Yeah, yes, I did. You have to keep going. And that was the key thing that made me break out to move on, to keep on what I'm doing now.
Beautiful. And Victor, are you based in UK or are you based in Africa?
You sound like one of the guys. I was flying out of Nigeria. Sorry, I tell a lot of stories. I was flying out of Nigeria once, and the guy said to me, he looked at my passport and said to me, "Oh, where you going to do in the UK?" And I looked at him and like, "I'm flying on a British passport. Why are you asking me this question?" I said to him, "I live there." You know, and he's like, "I'm asking you a question." I said, "I'm giving you an answer. I live there." You know, and it's funny because people always ask me these questions. I put it as I'm one leg in the UK, one leg in Africa, one leg in Nigeria. You know, my key inspiration and my key drive started from Nigeria, where I'm from. You see, the key thing that started the whole thing about the mindset was I didn't like what I was seeing in the country. I didn't like what was happening. You know, there was too much mediocrity, people just sitting around expecting government to do everything for them. You know, I felt, how do I change this? 200 million people. How can I make a difference in 200 million people? But I didn't realize that, you know, just like a seed, you know, one small seed in the ground, it begins to grow, because before you realize it becomes a tree. And people pluck fruit from that tree, they plant the seed again somewhere else, and it just keeps going and going and going. And before you realize the small seed you sowed in the small ground here has ended up all around the world. You know, and that's why I just felt, I'll just go small seed, start from somewhere. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'll just take the step and just start going. You know, I just focused on shifting mindsets. If I can change the way they think, I can change the way they act, and we can change the results we create. It might not happen in my lifetime because there's 200 million people out there, but I want to go to my grave one day knowing that I didn't sit down and complain. I didn't sit down and do nothing. I did something. And amazingly, I didn't expect to even find myself speaking anywhere else in the world. I just felt, just Nigeria and just Nigeria, that's all. And as I went on, I just realized that from the Nigeria, okay, now I'm speaking in the UK, okay, gone to America, you know, Albania, you know, different countries. And I'm thinking, what's happening here? It was supposed to be Nigeria, you know? So, so as it is now, I can say I'm sort of one leg in the UK, one leg in Nigeria. You know, I just keep running both sides as much as I can. Yeah.
What I hear from the story that you were just talking about is that, yes, you have a goal, you want to turn Nigeria around and help people change their mindset. And yet it seems you don't hold on to that goal super tightly, and you also allow other events to unfold. Yes. You didn't say no to, what was it, Albania? No. Because I have to be in Nigeria. You still went there. So what is the underlying belief that helps you make these decisions?
You see, I believe that the fact that I believe I was sent to UK for a reason, because I believe everything happens for a reason, you see. And because to a large extent, I don't think I would have been able to do what I'm doing now in the Nigeria if I was living in Nigeria, because I would have been in the system, I would be part of the system. It'd be difficult for me to be thinking differently from the people out there. So, but being away from it is what actually helps me to actually go back in with a different way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And being here gives me access to a lot more information, a lot more contacts, a lot more people. So that gives me more opportunity to help people out there. So my key thing is, as I say to people all the time, is transform, inspire. And I set my values around that. Everything I do, does it inspire people? Does it transform minds? And that's the two key things I work on every single time. So whatever opportunity came up later, I always turn it around and focus it back to Nigeria. So when I go for an event sometimes, what goes through my mind is, what opportunities can I find here? What can I learn from these people that I can take and use it to help people back in Nigeria? And that's what I continuously do. So every time I'm doing stuff in the UK, in as much as I'm doing it in UK, at the back of my mind, I'm actually doing it for Nigeria. So it always takes me back to the main goal where I started from.
Right. And you were born and raised in Nigeria?
Now, I was born in the UK, but I left the UK when I was 3 years old. So I grew up in Nigeria. So I did my secondary school, my university, everything in Nigeria. When I finished in Nigeria, I got a job with a bank in Nigeria. But then I had a choice because my dad said to me, okay, do you want to go and live in the UK or do you want to stay in Nigeria? So the choice was choosing between the two. If I had a job in Nigeria with a bank, Or do I go to UK and just start from nowhere, not knowing many people? Where do you start from? And I just decided, you know what, I'll take the jump. So I decided, I gave myself a target. You need to, before you leave, you'll have to find a wife first. You see, so, which was my target. So I went searching for a wife first, make sure I met my wife first. She didn't even know I was leaving the country. So I made sure I found a woman that, okay, this is a woman I'm definitely going to marry. Then I moved out to UK. And then obviously we're married now with 3 kids. So it worked.
Okay, I'm now interested. How does that work? We went wife hunting. You're a very process-minded individual as well. So I'm interested in the step-by-step process, because I believe there are many people out there who are on the same quest.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I think it's all down to desire. You see, a lot of people, first thing, don't even know what they want. You see, and people don't realize that once you know what you want and you go looking for it, you always find it. If you're not looking, you will not find it. You see, and I think a lot of people saw it because I gave myself a target. Okay, I'm leaving. I got about a month to go. I need to find this woman. And it's funny because I knew my wife when I was in university, because she was in my university for 1 year and then she moved to another university. But I had not seen her in years. And we just bumped each other randomly one day. We didn't exchange phone numbers. I gave her my phone number, but I didn't take her phone number. You see, which is pretty crazy. So just randomly, while I was in my search, I give myself a target. And I think in life, when you have a desire, when your desire is strong, this is what I want. You have a particular description and everything that this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. It's so amazing how people call it God, universe, how it just comes your way.
Yeah.
I was in a friend's house. We were just chatting away with my friend. My dad plays golf, so I dropped him off at the golf course. While he was playing golf, I went to go and see my friends. So while we're chatting away with my friends, my phone rings, and it was her. And then in Nigeria, the mobile phones were new in Nigeria then. So you couldn't call, like if I was using Vodafone, I couldn't call somebody else on O2. You had to only call people on the same network as you. So because my dad worked for a telecom company, he made sure we used the phone line for the telecom company he was with. But she was on a different company. But her sister had the same one as me. So our sister came to visit them. And then she now said to her sister, oh, I met this guy. He gave me his phone number. He's on the same company as you. Let me just call him and say hello. And that's how she phoned me. And she called me. I said, oh, where are you? She know, oh, I'm at my sister's house. Oh, boom, I'll come around and see you. You won't believe it. She was about 5 minutes drive away from where I was. And the moment we went to see her, we drove up there with my friends. Once you walk down the stairs, I was like, woo, I like what I see. And that's it now.
Well done.
Yeah. So it's all about having a desire. So all those on the quest, what I'll say to them is, if you're on the quest searching for things, just ask yourself the question, do I know what I want? Because I think a lot of people don't know what they want. So if you say to yourself, do I know what I want? If you can say authority, yes, I know exactly what I want and what I'm looking for, you'll find it.
This is exactly Victor. This is why you're such an amazing speaker. Not only did you give a brilliant story where we learn more about different countries and how it was by then, we learn actually how to get a partner in life that you really desire. What is there we love? I mean, it's brilliant how you can just bring a story across. And this morning when we were preparing for the interview, I was saying to Alexander, like, I have no idea how it is actually to live in Nigeria, because we have these confused ideas. I think very often we either believe that the people are extremely, extremely poor and hungry, or we see there these happy people almost dancing around the fire.
Yeah.
So how was it for you to grow up in Nigeria?
You know what I think I love the fact that we get to travel the world, because one key thing is a lot of things people say is not the reality. You'd be amazed at how rich Nigeria is. When I went to Nigeria the first time to start doing the events, when I landed, the first thing I said to myself was I had to find who organizes the biggest events in Nigeria. That was my find. That was the key. You see, desire again now. I went searching. And when I went out there, I met this lady and she introduced me to a guy. And funny enough, we actually went to the same school with the guy, same secondary school with him, but he was 3 years behind me, so I didn't know him. And as soon as we sat down talking, straight away, he was like, wow, I like the idea you have. Because the idea was to have what we call business coffee mornings. You come in the morning, have coffee, network, talk business, and a few speakers come and speak. And that was the idea we had. So when I sold the idea to him, straight away he took it up. Yeah, we'll do this. And he runs a massive networking company, and because they do, like, if in South Africa, the few place part of Africa now, they call Play Network in Nigeria. And so when I was sitting down with this guy talking, a few of his friends came around. And me, I'm now thinking, okay, everyone is thinking there's no money in Nigeria. Everyone is thinking there's poverty. When I stepped out and I realized the cars they were driving, I was like, oh my Lord, because they were not like cheap cars. And I'm thinking, who said there's no money in this country? As in they were like expensive Mercedes, the 4x4s, the Jaguars, and I was thinking, there is a lot of money here. So we went from there, we went somewhere else with them. So while I was in the car, one of the guys, I asked him, and I said to him, people say there's no money in this country. And people say, how do you afford things like this? And the guy says to me, you're like, you know what? You can choose what you believe, you see, because he runs like a printing business. And he told me about how he built his business from scratch. And it just shows clear perseverance, having a clear mind and focusing on building. And that's all he did. So the world assumes there's poverty out there. But when you see Nigerians in London, a lot of the houses owned in central London are by Nigerians, and they pay cash for them, because they don't live here, so they can't do this. So Nigeria is such a rich country, but there is a massive divide between the rich and the poor. There's some houses I go to in Nigeria, when I walk to the door, I've come from England, I'm looking around, I'm thinking, oh my Lord. There's some TV screens I've never seen in my life. The size of a TV, I'm like, what size is this now? They've got swimming pools. I walked to the guy's house in Nigeria the other day. He had he had a Range Rover, a Bentley, a Jaguar, and one of these really like proper antique sports cars. They're all packed out there. Just put this out of the price of his vehicles. And I said, people need to go and see. There's so much money. It's unbelievable. And that's why I just feel nothing scares me when I'm doing stuff in Nigeria, because I don't carry that mindset that, oh, they wouldn't pay for it. They haven't got the money for it. No, create that value and they'll throw the money at you. And that's what it is. There is so much money out there. It's just, in fact, there's too much money out there. Let's put it that way.
This story reminds me of a sentence that I read on your website. You're also the founder of the Millionaires by 40 network, and we'll dive into that later. Your mission is to make positive change in the lives of Nigerians and Africans. And one sentence in particular stood out, and maybe you know what I'm referring to. I think it was a friend that had the hypothesis of an experiment where we would put all the Nigerian people in the UK and all British people in Nigeria. And within 10 years, Nigeria would be one of the wealthiest countries. And UK, one of the poorest ones.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy, that one. Yeah, and I think to large extent sometimes when you look at it, it's and that's why I focus on the mindset, because it's just our way of thinking. If you can shift that, to be honest with you, we could be one of the richest countries in the world, easily.
I love to zoom in on that mindset part. So the way I look at mindset is the collection of all the beliefs that you hold. And that's the filter through which you experience everything that happens in life, the meaning you give to the events.
That is a perfect definition.
Thank you. When you look at the beliefs that you see in the poor people in Nigeria, which are some of the key limiting beliefs that hold them back? And by which empowering beliefs do you want to replace them?
You see, it's very difficult because now I'll give a good example now. You can tell now is the time to educate the poor people the most. Even though I don't believe there's anything like poor people, because I believe poverty is a way of mind. And a lot of people argue with me about that, but I will say it and I'll still say it again, and the whole world's going to hear that now. There's nothing like people are poor. It's your mindset that is poor. Because I would say, I even tell my wife every single time, because in fact, my wife says to me, I'm not a normal human being. Because and I say to her, yes, I'm not normal, because she's like, your way of thinking is just out of this world. I say, yes, it is. Because I believe that in the power of the mind. It's amazing what you can attract to your mind. It's amazing what's going on in your head. You see, and when you try and tell these people these things, it's difficult for them to understand. And so what I do is, and that's why I use the word inspire, because I like to take the walk, and then I'll come and say to them, look, I've just done this. You know, when I tell them my life's history and how I broke through things, look, I did this. So come on, you could do it too. You know, I know Les Brown likes to refer to the guy that ran somebody Robert Bannister, something like the guy that ran the 4-minute mile. You know, when nobody said nobody can run the 4-minute mile, he could never do it, this and that. But the moment he did it, everybody else started doing it. You know, and that's why I always say to guys, look, I will not tell you something I've not done before. You know, I've turned up in Nigeria, not knowing anybody, and I've organized events. You know, I went to Nigeria into a town without even knowing anybody in the town. You know, just 1 or 2 people I knew in the town. I created flyers, I did them, and about 65 people came to the event. You know, and then not even just that. I didn't even know anybody in the town. I was on TV, I was on radio, I was preaching in the church. I didn't know anybody in the town. Can you imagine? You know, so I just turned up. And then as soon as I turned up, people realized, oh, this guy's a man. Oh, who is this guy? Oh, what's it? No. Oh, can you come on radio? Can you come on TV? I was on TV twice. I was on radio once. And I was on, I went to a church one morning and then someone just came and, oh, I heard about you and your event. You know, can you come and speak to people? They organized an event in the evening, especially for me to come and speak, you know, and I didn't know anybody. So when I tell people to go out and do stuff, you know, forget about how it's going to happen. Just go out and do it. You see, and that's why I try to create that shift in their minds out there, because a lot of people, all they're focusing on is now. How much money can I get now? What can I put in my pocket now? Nobody's willing to put in the work. You know, okay, let me put in the work. Let me be patient. Let me wait. All they're thinking about is, how do I feed myself now? You see, like now we have an election coming up in Nigeria in a few months' time, and we keep recycling the same people in power. You know, and the guy who is now, everyone is saying he's going to win, is a recycled guy again. You see, he was about 70 years old and whatever he is, you see. And it hurts me when I see things like that, because I'm thinking, come on, guys, we need to educate a lot more. So now we're focusing on trying to educate with the so-called, I'll put poor in bracket, whatever you call it, poor people to understand that, look, this guy gives you money now. You eat today. Remember, you're going to suffer for 4 years before he gets out of power again, or maybe even 8 years before he leaves it. You know, but they don't understand. Everyone thinks about, this guy is talking motivation, he's talking inspiration. He doesn't realize that we're hungry. Yes, you have to stay hungry for a short while so you can get what you're trying to get. So you're focusing on feeding yourself today, not instead of focusing on how you're going to feed yourself for 4 years. You're only concerned about how you're going to feed yourself today. So it is a tough game trying to get through those people. But I can guarantee you that I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going, because end of the day, as I said to you, I want to lie in my coffin with a big smile on my face, knowing that, Victor, at least you tried. Even though whether it works or not, I do not care. But the bottom line is, I know I tried.
I love it. I love it. And once people see this interview, they will see the dedication, in the enthusiasm. And I would say that I'm right if I say that you are really fulfilled and that you live on purpose.
Definitely.
Is it something that you help your people to find? What's my purpose and how can I then live on purpose?
Yeah, that's why I do. I tell them all the time, because I think purpose is key. I think it's absolutely key, because when you do things sometimes and you can see the results, you know, when you know, I get messages all the time. In fact, I like what Gary Vee says sometimes when somebody asks him, how do you know you're making an impact? He said, when I look in my emails and people send me messages and say, thank you very much. You know, you changed my life. I get Facebook messages all the time. Even yesterday, someone sent a message saying to me, there's some guys were asking for my book in a particular part of Nigeria. And he said to me, the guys who said you came and spoke there and they were really excited and they can't wait for you, you know, for the books. Because I sent a few copies up there and one person bought all the copies I sent there. So I'm going to send more copies there now. The person bought all of them, says he wants to give them out to his friends. So I said, okay, fine. So now I'm going to send more copies there for other people who won the books. You see, so he was telling me everything yesterday, and I just felt, I was so grateful. I was like, you know what? I'm so grateful every day, because in fact, there's a talk I did one day. I said, fulfillment is a new currency. You know, it's not about the cash that comes into your pocket. You know, it's all about how you feel. You know, every day I say to myself, you know what, Victor, are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. That's all that matters, because I just feel I'm fulfilled. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And that's all that matters to me. You know, so living on purpose, I try to tell them every single time. Ask yourself every morning you wake up. Some mornings I don't feel like waking up, but I just say to myself, Victor, the world is waiting for you. Get out of bed, you know, and you jump out of bed. You just go for it, because you know that, you know what, you're definitely living on purpose. And it's exciting. It's exciting.
And I just really want to ask this question because you have family, you have 3 children and
Yes,
wife,
3 boys, yeah.
the woman that you found.
Yeah.
So how do you balance your living on purpose, namely helping Nigerians and Africans and all the people to get inspired,
Yeah.
with your family? Because you travel a lot as well.
Yes, I travel a lot, and it's amazing because I know I put a video the other day about my son that was saying next time we travel, make sure it's for 5 days. You know, I think I was in Nigeria for 2 weeks that time, so they came to pick me up from the airport. So he made a video for me warning me to stay next time 5 days. And shockingly, every trip I've made now is so short. I've made some trips that are unbelievable. When I went to Ghana, I flew into Ghana. I arrived at 12 midnight. I spoke on the first day, the second day. And then the third day, I spoke briefly, and then I left in the evening on that third day. So literally, people asked me, oh, did you see the town? I didn't see nothing. Because the event was in the hotel I was staying. So I finished everything and I left straight away. And when I went to Kenya, it was the same thing too. I just turned up. In fact, I arrived at Kenya in the afternoon, attended the event, spoke the next day, and the day after, and I was gone again. So my trips are very, very short now because of that, just because of my family. You know, so I don't stay out of the country too long. I fly in, I deliver, and I leave. If I was in Nigeria once, which I arrived on a Wednesday, spoke on a Thursday, left on a Friday morning. You know, so even all those, some are 6-hour flights, some are 8-hour flights, some are 9-hour flights. But I don't hang about. Even when I was in New York, the same thing. I flew to New York on Friday and I left on Monday. You know, so I don't. So one way I do most of the time is I keep my trips as short as possible. And secondly, what I do is when I'm around, I make sure I am around. You know, there are days in which I'm very, very intentional about it. If I even wrote about that in my book, you know, I'm very intentional about that because I told the other day my wife would say to me, oh, let me drop them at school. I said, no, as long as I'm around, I take the boys to school. Because, you know, because it makes a big difference, you know, when you drop the kids at school, when you kiss them and say to them, see you later, have a good day. When you pick them up from school, so as long as I'm around, I'm dropping them, I'm picking them. I make sure I'm fully part of their lives, like as much as possible, I am around. So it's like storing up all the being around. So when I'm not around, what the time I was around covers up for the time I'm not around. You know, something like that. Like in July, I was very busy because July I was in New York, and when I came back from New York a week later, I went to Nigeria again. So most of July, I was not even around at all. You see, so that's why I was supposed to be in Nigeria today as I'm speaking to you now, but I canceled the trip because I said I'm going to stay here now for the rest of the year. So the remaining 2 travels I have this year now. One is to go away with the kids in 2 weeks' time. Then the other one is our 10th wedding anniversary. So I'm going away with my wife. So it's special family, and then obviously got Christmas coming up too. So I'm making sure that I finish the year because I know 2019 is going to be big. So I'm finishing up the year being around before the whole travel starts again in 2019. So I think if anyone listening thinking, okay, I'm busy, how do I match it all up? The key thing I'll say to you is when you're around, be around. And then you can store up all the brownie points for that time. So when you're not around, then it makes up for it.
That is awesome. And you already made reference to what's coming up in 2019. Now, I would love to hear everything about that, but of course, we need to put it in perspective as well, because it's still 2018, and you already mentioned that already today, and we are now halfway October. You're rounding up the year because you've exceeded your goals for 2018 already.
Yeah.
What were those goals for 2018 that you exceeded, and what's going to happen in 2019 for you?
Well, 2018, I had a few bit of, I was supposed to be in Nigeria once for 2018. I've been to Nigeria twice now. New York wasn't on my list. Kenya wasn't on my list. So far when the year started, I was only going to go to Ghana. I was supposed to write my book, which I did. And then obviously the second edition is out already, which I call the African edition, which has been distributed in Nigeria at the moment. You see, so the second edition of the book wasn't planned to be this year. That's this year. That happened this year too. You know, so there's quite a lot of things that have happened now, and so far now. So I built on so much more than I thought I was going to do. You know, for the year 2018. Yeah. And I think I've spoken to so many other places that I did not even anticipate. In fact, there was some I put it out there. Okay, I will be speaking somewhere. I call you once a month. You see, but then I end up some twice, some 3 times, some even 4 times a month. You know, somewhere like, in fact, July was a crazy one because I think it was literally nonstop the whole of July. Practically almost every weekend I was speaking somewhere. You know, obviously I was in Nigeria, and even in Nigeria, I wasn't in Nigeria. When I went to Nigeria, I was expecting to speak once, In fact, I was even crazy actually, because I went to Nigeria and I prepared one speech. When I got there, you won't guess how many I had to deliver when I got there. Just guess.
I'm guessing. I don't know how long you stay. I'm guessing 5.
No, 9.
Wow. That was close.
9. So imagine preparing one speech, turning up, and then realizing that you had to speak 9 times. As in I couldn't believe it. So I had to be waking up early in the morning. I just sit down and think, what am I going to talk about today? And I'd sit down quickly, put it together, turn up, and then someone like an hour, someone like an hour and a half. You see, so these are kind of things where, I'm thinking to myself, I was in Nigeria to deliver one speech, end up delivering 9. And then apart from the radio interviews I have to do every time I go out there, the TV interviews, and all that thing that rolls with that. And I think I've built quite a lot of connections too, because now we're even talking with people who want to do business in Nigeria. You see, so we're having some really strong conversations now about some stuff they want to export from Africa too, actually. So I've been talking to some guys in East Africa. So these are things that I don't even have on my list, which have actually turned up now. And with the exports we're talking about now, we're talking like really, really large amounts of money, coming in through them. So these are all the kind of conversations that when I started 2018, it was not even something I wasn't going to think about. And in fact, one even exciting thing was even the car that I wanted. I couldn't think about it. I was like, okay, fine. But as the year went on, I said, you know what? I'm going to trade my car. I'm going to buy this car. And just this week, I bought it now. So it's just the desire, the drive. And I do these things sometimes. I say to people, I said, I don't do it for myself. I do it to show other people what is possible, to inspire other people that, look, guys, just put your mind to it. Just put your mind to it, because if you had asked me in January, I'll have told you no way. If you take me back to January now and show me this year as it's gone, and I said to you, there's no way that's going to happen. But it's happened all the way right down to today. And I'm so excited. I'm really, really grateful. I'm a believer in God. So I say I'm really, really grateful. I'm really thanking God that things have come this far. And that's why I'm excited about 2019.
Yeah, I can imagine. And this answers one of the questions that I had prepared already. So one of your Facebook posts that I read, you like to inspire on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
There's bad news for people who want to become friends with you, because I saw there's only 4 spots left, and then you're up to the 5,000 limit. So,
they have to be fast.
Anyone listening, you have to be fast if you want to be friends with Victor. You posted today, keep your eyes on the destination, see yourself there, and the road will begin to appear.
Yeah.
And I've heard many people confirm this, that as you start moving, the how becomes clearer and clearer. So my question was to make this statement more practical, so that people who haven't made this move yet also understand how this works. And I think your reflection on 2018 just spells it out all the way, because when you got started, you had no idea about what was going to happen, and it just unfolded right there in front of you as you went on.
Yeah, no idea.
It's beautiful. It's the journey of a lifetime.
It is.
I'm just like curious, how do you know what do you want? And I keep asking this question to many people, because I do believe we live in a fast-paced world, lots of information, and when I speak to people, ask them about their vision, what is it that they want? They're like, just want to have a happy family and just want to be happy, with a good job, good money. And then when I tell them, well, that's kind of pretty much everyone wants this. So what's your thing, right? Yeah. What is it that you want? How do you help people to find the burning desire that Napoleon Hill, for example, spoke about in his book?
Yeah, the burning desire to me, I think I always say to people, I say, what really annoys you? As in, what is it that when you think about just ticks? When you see me talk about Nigeria now, you can see the way it comes out. Yeah. When you talk about when people make the excuses, and it just annoys me straight away. So it just really annoys me. And then when I see great things about Nigeria, I get excited straight away. Like, wow, this is good. You see, and it's a kind of thing that what ticks. I always say to people, I say, what annoys you? And what is it that when you hear gets you so excited? Because I think it's a personal thing at the end of the day, you see. And I think with the personal development journey, most of the time, people don't realize that everyone is different. Everybody operates in a different way. I remember my coach sent me a message where they said, Victor, I can see you're not posting too much on Facebook. And I said to him, I said, don't worry, I'm working on the ground. Because I've been making a few phone calls, like when I was telling you about the exports you're talking about and things like that, I've been working on that. And I'm a kind of person in which when I'm doing something, I like to stay laser focused on it. In as much as, yes, I know we're in the era of social media where you have to post and make so much noise and whatever it is. I said, don't worry, I'll come back to that. But now I want to stay laser focused. This job needs to be done. It has to be done. It has to be finished. And I believe, to me, I don't have to copy what everybody else is doing. Yes, there's a general thing where you have to be on social media now, which obviously is key now. Every company, on social media, you're more or less dead anyway. But still, I understand the fact that I still have to be me. I still have to be Victor. How does Victor operate? And so what I'll say to anyone listening, trying to think, okay, fine, I don't know what I want. Just it's simple. What annoys you? What just winds you up straight away once you hear? You will know that is what is driving you, because a lot of times people talk about what annoys them and they focus on somebody else to fix it. When it is annoying you, that means it's your job to fix it, because somebody else is not fixing it. So that's why it doesn't annoy them. You see, and it's the same thing even when you're in marriage in the house. What ticks you off? You see, as in, I like everything arranged, everything in order. You see, but my wife is a bit different. So, but end of the day, you know what? I can shout from now to tomorrow, it's not going to happen. So what do? Sometimes I go into our car and I'm thinking, oh my Lord. Yes, I understand we got kids, so there'll be stuff all over in the car. But instead of me complaining about the car being not clean, just take it and go and wash it and bring it back. Simple. So every time I use it, I'm like, you know what? I'll just go and wash it. I'll just get it clean and bring it back. It solves the problem. So at least it doesn't wind me up every time I go into it. In as much as it might end up being like that again in a week or 2 weeks time, don't worry. I'll blame it on the kids. I'll just take it, go and wash it, bring it back again. Simple. So there's no point getting worked up. Just fix it. So anything that annoys you in the world, to me, I'll say, is your job to fix it. You might think it's annoying everybody else, but possibly it's not, because it's not their job. It's only winding you up because it's your job to fix it. And that's the way I see it.
Nice. And
Cool.
should be the fixing something that you enjoy doing? Because I can imagine many people, for my very basic example, the house isn't clean, somebody should go and somebody should vacuum clean, right? And some people might have the 80-20 Pareto principle approach to vacuum cleaning, which is obviously not enough when you live with 3 cats. But of course, I am not the person who runs around with a vacuum cleaner and sings fairy tale songs, being so happy I could do that. So my question is, should I enjoy fixing it, or isn't it such a big deal to enjoy it?
I can't guarantee you're going to enjoy fixing it, because at the end of the day, to be honest with you, a lot of things I do, I might not exactly enjoy them. Who enjoys waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go for a run when it's freezing cold and it's raining? You see, it's all about that discipline, because I know that, okay, fine. I say to myself, how am I going to stand in front of people delivering a speech? I've got a big pot belly and I'm telling them, inspire yourself and transform yourself, when I can't even look after my health. You understand? So when you think of such things, it just tells you, you know what, I might not exactly enjoy it, but you have to do it. It's all about discipline. So in as much as it's annoying you, you don't enjoy doing it, but the fact that it's going to annoy you, then you might as well do it. You see, and that's where I see it. So nothing comes easy at the end of the day, because I've got a theory. If it's easy, I believe easy come, easy go. If it's easy, do you know what? I'm so crazy. If it's very easy, I'm never interested. If you bring me an idea and I'm thinking, that's too easy, I don't want to do it. I like a challenge. I like the fact that when I finish, I'll look back and say, wow, yes, I'm sweating. Yes, I've done it. And it fires me more. Then you're like, okay, I've done this one now. What next? Go to. See, so you might not enjoy it, but it's all about discipline. You have to do it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so I'm very happy that Lenka is going to be in charge of vacuum cleaning from now on.
Of course, I'm just gonna
best interview so far.
People who enjoy it and are way better in it.
Good stuff. One thing that we found on our journey as well is that we live in a human body, right? Yeah. And so this whole journey is a journey of development, and a big part of it is figuring out who we have been all the time. So stuff that we more or less forgot. And we often take ourselves and also our clients back to childhood, because many answers are hidden in there. So I'm very, very curious.
Yeah.
What was small Victor like when you were 8 years old? In that classroom with all those different personalities in there, the cool kids, the strong kids, the nerds. Which kid were you?
Fair enough. I think I was a very quiet one because what happened to me was when I was in school, when I was young, I was called, my first name is actually Dauda, which is Dauda. And so you've noticed I actually use my name as Victor Dauda Tarfa. But I use Victor because it's easier for everyone to remember and to pronounce. And Dauda actually means David, which is actually, but I don't know why my parents didn't call me David. You see, but so I made sure I called my first son David now. So at least I've got the name now. So the interesting thing was, and then when I was in school, there used to be a magazine, a very, very crazy magazine, which was called Dauda the Sexy Guy, you know. And because of that magazine, people used to tease me all the time, you see. So they used to call me Dauda the Sexy Guy. Now, at this age now, to me, is a compliment. You say to me, hey, Dauda the Sexy Guy. Yes, it is a compliment, you see. But as a child, I didn't like it. So I just did not even like my name at all. So I was teased all the time when I was in school just because of that name. And I just couldn't wait. I'd find a way of getting rid of it. And the best thing was when I went to secondary school, I went to an all boys secondary school. So what they did in the school was for us to remember ourselves in future, we call ourselves by our last names. So because in future, when you see a name somewhere now, you're going to call me Mr. Tarfa, you see. But if you say Mr. Dauda, people will not know who I am. So boys, your last name always shows everywhere you go to. So when we got to secondary school, it became, everyone started calling me Tarfa. And that's how I got rid of that name. You see, and I was very, very excited. So the young me, to be honest with you, I think I was very, very quiet. I was very, very stubborn. You see, I used to like playing, funny enough, I don't even follow football now, but I used to like playing football then. You know, and then my mom says to me, oh, you got to stay at home. No, I'll sneak out the house, go and play football, come back, you know, get into trouble. You know, back in Africa, you have the cane, you know, you get a bit of a nice beating, and then tomorrow again, off you go again. You know, you just never learn, basically. So I could put it that way, I was very, very stubborn. And I was very, very hot-tempered. My temper could trigger in, you know, easily. You know, in fact, it's shocking now. In fact, I look at myself now. Even my sister says, my sister, like, they find it hard to believe I'm the same person because I was so hot-tempered. As in, I just get angry so easily. If you tease me a little, I'm just angry. But it's so funny now that it takes so much to annoy me now. But before, oh my Lord, just say the wrong thing, I just go off on one. So a lot has changed from 8 years old to now, I must say.
Wow. That's amazing because it reminds me of the Millionaires by 40 network, and your logo for this network is actually a butterfly.
Yes.
So that's what I recognize here as well. The angry, quiet Victor.
Yeah.
That is now turned into somebody with a big smile who flies all over the world.
Yeah.
And inspires everyone.
Yeah, that's good. That's beautiful transformation. So tell us more about the network that you're building.
All right. Funny enough, I speak to a lot of people recently, and they mentioned that Millionaires by 40, and the website is still up there, but I've actually changed the brands because Millionaires by 40 came up about 2 years ago when I was thinking, okay, fine, I'm nearly 40. I need to turn my life around, basically. So I need to achieve or have purpose and have direction. Because as the saying goes, life begins at 40. So, and the saying goes, if you don't know where, you know, I say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. You know, so, and I was thinking to myself, I didn't want to be that fool at 40. I need to know exactly where I'm going. And even in the book, Think and Grow Rich, he talks a lot about you can't achieve what you're going to achieve in life till you're 40. Well, now it doesn't really apply anymore anyway, but maybe when they wrote the book, possibly. So he was talking about that too. And I was thinking, okay, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? So I thought, okay, I'm going to build. So I called it Millionaires by 40, being the fact that I was going to make sure I find my direction and I find my purpose and I find where I'm going to by the time I turn 40. And so when I turned 40, it now became, now, what else do I do with this now? I can't think of what else to do with it. You see, so I've swapped the brands now, which I'm building now at the moment, which obviously I said it towards 2019, which I'm actually called The Victor. You know, so I've come from there now. So now I'm The Victor. So like most companies, when you start newly, Like Apple was called Macintosh before. And then as they changed over now, they now became Apple, you know, and the names begin to change. Like even Coca-Cola, we used to call them all the time, now just call themselves Coke. You know, so brands evolve, brands change as they go on. And that's one of actually the brands that actually have changed from. And it's funny because I go to places and I still get introduced as, oh, 500 millionaires by 40, but I just say, okay, no problem. In fact, some people even print my bio sometimes without asking me, and then I'll come and see, I'm like, oh, no, okay, don't worry, I'll just leave it. You know, so it's interesting because when people Google me or research me, it comes up anyway, you see. But so I think the quicker I get the Victor out, but I'm glad people talk about it, because I like the fact that it had nothing to do with money, because people see that millionaires and think, oh, it's money. But to me, it had nothing to do with money, because I believe you can define what a millionaire means to you. To somebody, being a millionaire could be finding a wife. To somebody, being a millionaire could be buying a house. Somebody could be buying a car. It's all about what you want to achieve by a certain, it's like setting a goal and giving yourself a timeline to achieve the goal. And that's what all it was. So I set a goal for myself, gave myself a timeline. Okay, Victor, you need to have clear direction where you're going by the time you turn 40. And that's what it was all about, to be honest with you. So, but I'm excited. I like it. And I love the fact that it's evolving into something else now.
Brilliant. And I totally agree that just like being poor is a mindset, being a millionaire is also a mindset.
Exactly.
It's not about the number on your bank account. It's about where you live life, about abundance and the choices you make.
True.
You're also author of the book, The Seasons of Life.
Yes.
For everyone listening right now, which questions that people have in their mind can be instantly solved by reading your book?
Well, I think the question more or less is mostly what I spoke about now, the power of the seed. You know, because I think a lot of time people don't step out. You know, it's funny because I listened to a guy called Miles Monroe, and he said, when you leave a seed on a window ledge, it just sits there and nothing happens to it. It just goes bad, it goes rotten, maybe a bird crawls into your window and picks it up. And when he said that, I thought about most of the ideas we get actually come from when you're in the shower. For some reason, when you're in the shower, you know, all the ideas just pour out there. Then once you come out of the shower, you now forget about them. So those seeds are always sown in your mind when you're out there. You see, and then that's why the book to me is just the power of the seed. Because I started off with a seed. I'm going to make a change in Nigeria. I don't really know many people. I don't know any promoters. I'm going to go out there. I'm just going to sow a seed. And I just sowed the seed. And I can say I've reached so many people. In fact, when I was invited for an interview at a Bengali radio station, and I'm thinking, I never thought I'd be speaking to people in Bangladesh. You know, I'm thinking that is quite amazing, because even though I didn't have to physically go there, I was in a Bengali radio station. Obviously, it's a very highly populated country, so that means there will be lots and lots of people listening. And there are loads of people listening. They're all sending out messages and commenting and things like that. Some in their languages I couldn't understand, but hey, I just carried on going. You know, now I'm talking to you guys who are in the Netherlands. You see, and it just shows the power of that seed. You know, just take that step. Just sow that seed. I think a lot of people are held back, standing still. You know, and even at the beginning of the book, the first statement I made was the biggest frustration is standing still when you know you should be moving. You know, we know you should be moving, but you're standing still. You know, it's like as a guy called TD Jakes spoke about. He said he's like when you're in a car and you're in traffic, you get angry because you know you should be moving. Now I'm sitting on this chair, I'm not moving. So what's the difference between me sitting on a chair here and you sitting in a car? Because a chair is not supposed to be moving. So it's normal anyway. But when you're in a car, which is supposed to be moving, but it's not moving, then you're frustrated. And that's the biggest frustration for so many people in this world. And reading my book, I believe that's one of the key cures. Understand the power of starting, the power of the seed, no matter how small it is. Just put it in that ground. You know, and also the power of waiting. You know, you dig the ground, you put the seed inside, you bury it. You know, and when you bury that seed, sometimes you think you buried your idea, it's died. No, it hasn't died. You know, it has to go in that ground first. You have to keep watering the ground. You can't see anything, but just keep watering it anyway. You know, when you listen to Gary Vee talks about 8 years. He was grinding in his father's wine store 8 years before he actually built his own stuff. You know, and now the guy is talking around the world, $200,000 just for him to turn up and talk for 30 minutes. You know, and then you see him and you're thinking to yourself, what's all that about? No, 8 years he was grinding, you know, and then now he's commanding $200,000 just to turn up. So when you look at things like that, people need to understand the power that goes behind it. Things just don't happen overnight. And that's why I want people to understand, when you read the book, and I made it very easy to read. In fact, I think to me, it's one of the easiest books to read. In fact, there was a day a guy saw me. I told him, "Oh, Victor, I want your book." I said, "No, get it on Amazon." He said, "No, I want to sign one." And because I always carry a copy with me, I signed a copy for him, and the signed ones actually cost more than the ones on Amazon. So he paid me. I was sitting down before I realized he read half of the book already. And I'm thinking, really? And then he called while he read half of the book. Then he called me back and said, when I signed the book, I didn't put a date on it because he wants to show off in the future that he knows me and he met me and I signed his book. Because he was sort of thinking far as a Victor. What I've read here, I like what I'm seeing. So I can see where you're going already now. So please put a date for me so that when nobody will claim that I will just watch it now, I bought it that time. So to me, it's all about that seed, the power of the seed, the power of waiting, putting it in the ground, watching it, even though nothing is happening. When I was traveling to Nigeria, nobody was paying me. I was paying for my trips, but I was just going out there. I was just doing my own thing, and then it got to a point where now I'm being paid to go out there, you see. So it's a turnaround, you see. It starts from, I'm doing it myself. Now I'm being paid to go out there. It's people just need to understand. Be ready to grind, be ready to be patient, but most importantly, just take that step. Very important. So that seed.
Victor, I am moved, I'm inspired, and people who see this and people who hear this as well, your voice just makes me get out of the chair and just go and start moving. Do not wait anymore. And I can imagine people want to see you speak. They want to read your book. They want to come to your events or to workshop. Maybe they want to even get mentored by you. So where could people find you? Do you have any events coming up where they can buy your book? Just share with us as much as you can.
Yeah, the books are available now on Amazon. If you just search my name, Victor Tarfa, or Seasons of Life, you can grab a copy of the book from there. So you can just click buy from Amazon if you want to. If you see me walking around the streets of London, if I've got a bag with me, then most likely I've got a copy inside. So I can sign a copy for you and give it to you. And I haven't got an event planned at the moment coming up because most of the big ones I'm planning are against 2019 now. But mostly I think there's an event I'm speaking at, which is in November in London. I think that's November 25th, actually, which is organized by DVG. That's the guys that actually published my book. So I'm actually emceeing that event and I'm speaking there a bit about my book too. So that's the next planned event I have on ground here in the UK. And so you can find the book out. They can connect me on Facebook. Yes, I'll go on Facebook now, have a look at it. I didn't realize I only had 4 spaces, but I'll go and have a look at the friends that have been sitting there dormant or not contributing in any way, shape, or form or adding inspiration to anybody else. And then maybe I'll just try and shift them out too. Also, I've got a Facebook page, Victor Dauda Tarfa, which I'm not using too much recently, but I need to start using it quite often actually. So you can like that page too, so you can get some of the content from there too. So it's all out there. I've got a YouTube channel, just search Victor Tarfa, which I will be starting to upload videos now. I'm recording most of the videos now, so I can prepare them nicely for YouTube, so people can actually watch them on YouTube too. So I'm just focusing on doing towards the end of the year to sort of put more content out there. I am on Instagram too. Just search Victor Dauda Tarfa. You find me on Instagram. You can follow me up there too. So LinkedIn, you can search the same name too, Victor Dauda Tarfa. He's there too. And
Brilliant.
you can become friends there too. So great. And then the website, the Victor, is currently being built. So I'm going to put all the content out there too on the websites too. So keep an eye peeled for that one too.
That's going to be thevictor.com?
Yeah, so it'll be the thevictor.com, yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see the content over there and everything that you're building, because you're growing and you're moving in a speed of light. So I'm so excited to see what the future brings, or namely which kind of future you build for yourself.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Victor, thank you for this beautiful conversation. We had a lot of fun.
Wow. I've had so much fun, I must tell you guys.
And thank you for all the beautiful work that you're doing, because you are truly turning lives around, and it just keeps on growing. So I'm excited to see what more is to come for you.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Lenka. I really appreciate you guys having me here. As I always say, I never take anything for granted. When you get time to share with people, to learn from others too, I've learned so much from you guys. And I think you guys are such a great couple. I'm just watching 2 of you. I'm like, wow, this is nice. It's just so great. Just so inspiring, you see. And I'm so pleased that Alex is going to start doing a lot of hoovering now, and which I think it's going to be great. Yeah. So thank you so much. I really had a great time. It's such a relaxing time with you guys, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Victor.
It was great speaking to Victor again. We hope you enjoyed the interview as much as we did. You heard Victor. Why stay shy if that means that you would be missing out on so many great experiences? So what did you tell yourself while you were listening to the interview? Which goals do you set for yourself for the next 6 to 12 months? Make sure you stay connected with Victor. You can get his book, The Seasons of Life. You can find him on Instagram at Victor Dauda Tarfa. That's Victor with a C, D-A-U-D-A-T-A-R-F-A. And as you heard during our conversation, Victor is even open to becoming friends with you on Facebook. So go ahead and send him a friend request to benefit from his inspirational posts and videos. Soon his new website, thevictor.com, will be online as well. Finally, we have an Earn More Work Less initiative that we don't want you to miss out on. Our very first How to Work Stress-Free online masterclass will take place in December 2018. It is free and it is transformational for you when you want to develop yourself, grow, and enjoy life with less stress. Go to earnmoreworkless.com/stress-free masterclass to be part of the masterclass and enjoy some cool bonuses that we've included for you as well. Lenka and I, we wish you a fun and successful week. Let's go out, create some 10-star experiences for ourselves and for others, and have fun.